User disconnected from your channel.
There we go. I've not switched it to the game yet because I am an amazing player. There we go. Hello and welcome back to FQ Season 3. Today we are in Abu Dhabi for the Season 3 Round 2 of the F123 League. And as always, it's Abu Dhabi. It promises to be interesting racing. Maybe some controversy as well. It's not a season decider this time, so there shouldn't be any Michael Massies going around and ruining the races. With me today will be Crane. Later on, I will be alone for qualifying once again. I am a very lonely man. I need to check audio levels, so you guys will need to hang on for a little bit. That looks okay. This is, again, very professional, something I could have checked before the stream, but I didn't deal with it. If they're gonna put me up here alone, I'm gonna do it my way, and my way is a very scuffed way. I also haven't tested the audio for Grain, because he hasn't been around, so hopefully everything's fine with him. But we are looking to get going. Someone's left the lobby. I only see 14. Who's left the lobby? What's happened? Is there? No. I'm sure someone will yell at it and But yeah, Abu Dhabi. Short qualifying, obviously. A very interesting track. A very nice lap around it. Very nice lap around here. I don't know what to say, really. If I had some information about the track, I would actually tell it to you, but I don't, because I'm not prepared. Right. The Yas Marina circuit, it's 5.55 kilometers long. Or 3.45 miles. It has 21 turns. The average lap time is, in real life, a 1 minute 40. Probably not gonna be, a little bit under that here. Top speeds can reach up to 320 kilometers per hour with average speeds around 200 kilometers an hour. So it is failing who's left. That is indeed true. But under the lights then, and we are going to get underway very, very shortly. Qualifying is already underway, so we will not just now wait for people to get out there onto the track. As there looks to be a Red Bull going. That would be Wacky or Jerome. That's Jerome, the American, looking to get out there first and looking to set a purple lap time, which is guaranteed for him as long as he stays first out on track. Behind him is Sammy, I believe that is, yes, from the yellow helmet. Going out looking to replenish his championship challenge after Canada, where he got a drive-through penalty, obviously, leading under the safety car. Very vocal about that, very disappointed about what happened in Canada. He'll be looking to bounce back today here in Abu Dhabi. My screen is flickering like crazy. I'll need to do this, and then I'll need to do this. No one saw anything. It's still flickering. That did not help at all. I guess I'll just have to go through it. I hate this bug where it just glitches my screen and it flickers so much. But Jerome Hudson will be the first to take us around a full lap of the Yas Marina circuit. And we will be going on board with the Red Bull. He'll be hoping to recreate the glory that Red Bull have had around Abu Dhabi in the recent years, in 2020. In 2019 and as well, no, 2019 was Lewis. 2020, 2021, 2022 and 2023, all Red Bull victories around this track. Could be wrong. I haven't actually checked that. But Jerome Hudson then, on to his first lap of the Abu Dhabi circuit as we head down into turn 1. It's not a long main straight, there is no DRS down this main straight. You brake really hard, get the car turned in, you flick it in, you have to trust that it carries through. Then this is flat out all the way through, and the car just will stick for you. Then into the hairpin, the new track changes made in 2021. You need to get the car turned in nicely because you have a lot more speed going into there now than you did back in 2021. DRS wide open, then into this middle sector. It's gonna be extremely important to have that straight line speed. You can't just go all out or wings here because these two straights are going to be deadly. Then into the hardest part of the entire track, the middle sector chicane. To get this right, to get the traction out of there is absolutely crucial. You can lose up to half a second there if you don't do it perfectly. Into the twisty tidy sector 3. It's a purple middle sector, which is expected considering he's the only car out there on track right now, as he's managing his way through sector 3 into the right hander there. And now you need to be careful on the throttle through here, not to invalidate. Take the car left, and then it's flat out through this right hander into the final corner of the racetrack. Turn it in, get it in nicely, short run up the line, so it doesn't matter if you go wide. A 23.0 is going to get us started here. Then it's going to be the AlphaTauri of Get Val Carried, who's going to be next to cross the line. He's in the final sector already. Into the final corner, brakes nicely, gets the car turned in, up to the line of 123.3. The lap times early on a little slow compared to what we would expect out of these guys, as Sami Jote into the final corner now on the soft compound tires, obviously, as Sami now puts 5/10 in between him and Jerome, as Axel Ross goes fourth fastest with 123.5, a second behind his teammate all day. Then next up the cross line, he's gonna go fifth fastest with a 125.1, and Mew, our championship leader, goes on to the top of the timing charts with a 22.464, about half a tenth up on the French Alpine driver Dablo through the final corners. That was very wide. He's going into the pit lane. Not a good enough lap for his liking. Maybe a little bit of a mistake somewhere in there. Then it's Nick Furyman in the Mercedes. Needs to get the power down out of this chicane. He does look like he's pushing on this lap. He invalidated his first lap, or his out lap, I don't know which one it was, but we went to him for a second and he had an invalidated lap right there. Then it's into this long left-hander. Again, a new addition to the circuit. There used to be a chicane there, there's not a chicane anymore. It's a long right-hander. You need to get the car in, turn to this right-hander. It's a little bit wide from Nick as he goes a little bit wide on the final sector, and that is going to be an invalidation for Nick Furyman, and he is going to have to pit at the end of this lap. No more fuel to do another run, but he'll have to go around again, and that's not ideal for Nick Furyman, who will have to go around again in low fuel mode for the entire lap. And next up, we follow S10 on a lap on the hard compound tires. This is definitely an interesting choice from the Haas driver, which I don't really understand, considering the softs definitely can go all the way here, all the way around the lap. It's not like Qatar might be in F1 24, where the softs might not be the ideal qualifying tire. But now down this long back straight, we'll see what he can do on those hard compound tires. It's definitely an interesting choice, but let's see if it works out for the Haas driver as he heads into the chicane. This is where the hard tires will be the most disadvantage, because you don't get the grip you would on those soft compound tires. He's actually not deploying ERS, so this is either a crazy banker lap or he's thought this was a practice session. Next person who's gonna go on a lap is Jerome. Already on a lap? Jerome is already on a lap. He's gonna go across the line. 22.699, stays third fastest, but now is a little bit more comfortable in that third fastest spot. As the next person to start a lap, I believe, is Rab Zorg in the AlphaTauri. as he starts his lap now. He's 7th fastest at the moment. Many people haven't set a lap yet. Many people struggling as Nick. He's hit the pit wall. He's hit the pit wall, and I think we'll see that from Failing's perspective, unless the car has been cleared out. He's hit the pit wall. First he missed it on his last lap and had to go around again, and now he's... as Sammy goes fastest with 122.409, very close to the top. Very, very close to the top indeed. And Rab Zog then going into Sector 2 now, hoping to put his AlphaTauri up the grid. It's very, very rare that people are getting laps in now. People must be invalidating. Just keep the car on track, guys. Even getting a lap in right now will guarantee a top 10 at this very moment. As Rab now through Sector 2, this long straight. You could gain a lot of time by going for a low wing setup down this Sector 2, but you'll always lose it in this final sector. Let's see on board with the AlphaTauri driver how it will look as he heads through the final sector. A little bit wide there, doesn't hit the apex. Hits that apex nicely, but it's a little bit tentative from the AlphaTauri. His first lap very close to it invalidating there, but then into the final corner. Should be a good lap for Abzog. He's hoping to get into the top 5. He goes 7th fastest, 124.6. Dablo then on a lap in the McLaren. He has an Alpine in front of him. That's not ideal. The Alpine does get out of the way a little bit late, but does get out of the way nicely. Out of the racetrack as Dablo now into the final corner. Let's see what the McLaren driver has. Oh no! That's a massive snap for the McLaren as he hits the wall, and he Cornish Mantis his lap definitely ruined by those yellow flags as 122.940 puts him into P4, but that's now 2 people who've hit the wall in this qualifying session, and that tells you how hard these guys are pushing, how much every single 100th of a second matters. Then it's Wacky Lauda in the other Red Bull, his teammate right now in P3 with a 122.699. What can Wacky Lauda do? Can he match his teammate? He's backed out of the lap. Apparently wasn't deploying any ERS on that lap, so must be an abandoned lap then, failing also on an out lap. Get well carried, I think, looks to be pushing through the final sector. As he's gonna get a little bit of traffic here in the form of the Haas of failing, I think that is. That's a little bit wide there, doesn't invalidate though. It's good to keep going somehow. And into the final corner now for Get Valcarried. What can he do in that Sauber? Comes across the line now, improves, but stays 6th fastest. Wacky Lauda now starting his actual lap, now burning the ERS. He did 2 preparing laps in that Red Bull. Let's see if it pays out for him as he now goes down this long back straight, and that Red Bull just looks absolutely lovely doing it. And a little bit wide there for Wacky, trying to take all of the track, a little bit wide of the apex into the first part of the chicane, and the second part a little bit of a correction, but the Red Bull looks to be planted nicely. It looks like a good setup for the Japanese driver as he heads into the long left-hander. Just gets it in nicely enough, just needs a lap in to get into the top 5. New 122.343 goes fastest of anybody, but it's very close at the top. Between the top 2, Mew and Sammy separated by under 1/10 of a second, and then it's Jerome who's a little bit behind but definitely can make up the time. Can Wacky Lauda put his Red Bull somewhere in that area as well? He takes all of the curb on exit, goes 7th fastest, 123.327, and goes into the top 7. I don't think anyone else is out on laps at the moment, so we can chill a little bit. Just to recap, Mew on provisional pole, Nick Freeman, Dablo 17, both out of the session. Both hitting the wall in the final sector. Definitely not what you want to see, but in the end, it is what it is, and I'm sure both of them will be looking forward to making a lot of gains in the race. Both of them have a lot of pace, and there's only one way to go from the back of the grid, and that is upwards. Our next person to start a lap is going to be Rabzog in that AlphaTauri. At the moment, outside of the top 10, with a 124.660. But looking to get back up into that top 10, possibly even that top 5, because we know Rabzog does have the pace on his day. He's qualified P3 in Imola last season, I think. Unfortunately, race start didn't go quite his way, but there goes the AlphaTauri now. We're getting poor camera angles, taking all of that curb on the start to the lap into turn 1. Flick the car to the right, stay within those track limits, and then all the way flat until the next braking zone, which is going to be the hairpin of turn 5. After that first sector, he's down by a 10th on his first sector, but I'm sure there's time to be found around the rest of the lap for this AlphaTauri as he heads now down the long back straight and just looking for any little improvement. You can see the line he's taking absolutely on the limit. Now braking for the chicane, taking the car in. Looks very nice indeed as he gets now back onto the power and back on into the rest of sector 2, and that's only going to be pedal to the metal. Sector 2 time, he's 1.5 tenths up on his time, and that's really wide into the left-hander, and that might be an aborted lap right there. He's still pushing. He is still pushing. He's left the session. Alright. He's left the session. But more importantly, I think Sami Jote starting his lap now. He's in P2 at the moment. The Alpine driver, the French driver, looking to get pole position away from Mew, away from the championship leader. He definitely doesn't want to allow Mew to go any further up the field, and he's out as well. Sami's out in the wall, and that's a disaster for Sami. And that is a third person losing their car and going out of this qualifying session. And I'm beginning to think the commentator's curse is coming back. I will just re-invite Rabzog real fast. There we go. But again, the commentator's curse, it's back from last week. And anyone I spectate doesn't seem to have a good time around a lap. That being said, Valkyrie will definitely want to change that fact as he looks to get into the top 5. Ahead of the Alpine of Axel Ross and the McLaren of Cornish Mantis, who's also on a lap. But get Valkyrie obviously a little bit further up. So oh no, it's actually a thing. The commentator's curse. I shouldn't speak. It's happened again. It's happened again. As we're just going to follow Axel Ross then around his lap. And hopefully Axel Ross can keep it together for one lap so we can get an actual on-board lap of this circuit that we can actually look at one person for an entire lap without them spinning and without them hitting a wall. Axel Ross abandons his lap. Must have made a mistake somewhere around. Cornish Mantis also abandoned his lap. As we look at Simi then in the Ferrari, the number 82 car, the Brit improved apparently by 5/10 and is now on an in lap. Cool. All day improved by 7/10 and stayed 11th. I can't keep up. Cannot keep up. Okay, next person to be on a lap is Jerome Hudson. For the Red Bull team, he'll be looking to get up into P2 and maybe even up to pole position, as Sami won't be setting another time in this session. The Red Bull going through sector 1 and now into the hairpin. That looks very nice for the American driver as he heads down the long straight. Still a lot of time to be found probably in Jerome's lap. The Ferrari letting him pass nicely then into the chicane. This is an important part of the lap. Hits the first chicane nicely. That looks very, very nice indeed for the Red Bull. And this could be a great lap from Jerome Hudson. We're gonna see his split in sector 2 in just a few moments. Is he going to be challenging for that pole position? He's 2/10 up at the moment. Needs to find a little bit more in this sector 3, but can the Red Bull driver, can he extract that little bit of time to get him up into provisional pole position? Mew is still on a lap, but Jerome might just be able to upset everyone here and might be able to get past Sammy and maybe even get past Mew as he heads into the final corner. Has the American done it? Can he get onto provisional pole position? He comes across the final corner and he does do it with a 1:22.2, and now all pressure onto Mew, who's down on his time in the first sector. The American has thrown down the gauntlet. Can Mew do anything to fight back? He's only 400ths up on his time. Needs a massive final sector, the Williams driver. It's Poland versus America. Williams versus Red Bull. We haven't heard that one in a while. And Mew making his way through this final sector. Needs to be absolutely pinpoint perfect to get this pole position back. Can the championship leader round the final corner and get that pole position back? We're about to see it. Mew crossing the line. No! And it's gonna be Jerome Hudson who takes pole position here in Abu Dhabi. That's absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful from Jerome as he takes pole position, and it's Red Bull back onto pole position here in FQ, and it's Jerome Hudson. Simi still on a lap, improving by 1/10. He'll be looking to get into the top 5. And it's very, very possible. He only needs to find one more tenth in this final sector now. And the Ferrari just very, very cautious around these final corners. And needs to be a good lap for Simi to get him into the top 5. But anything's possible. He could be 4th with a few tenths improvement as he comes across the final 2 corners. Has abandoned the lap. But Jerome Hudson, story of the day, is on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And oh my, did you see that one coming? That is absolutely incredible. And, wow. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. Jerome Hudson, pole position for Red Bull, and, oh. What a lap for the American driver with a 1:22.210. Takes the checkered flag on a pole position as Mew starts alongside him on the front row with a 1:22.335. Sami Jote starts only in 4th after a slip up in qualifying and a DNF. Conch Mantis is 4th for McLaren with a 1:29.912. Axel Ross then in 5th, just about missing out on Cornish's time by a few hundredths of a second. Then it's very close back to Simi in 8th as Rafa takes 6th, Valkyrie takes 7th, and Simi takes 6th place. Very, very close between all 3 of those guys. Failing starts in a P9, Rocky Lauda in P10 for Red Bull. S10 starts 11th all day, 12th. Rabzog starts 13th. Nick Fuhrman and Dablo will be at the back of the grid after DNFs in the qualifying session. Right. I will need probably a cup of water after that one. I should probably also. I'm gonna clip my reaction so we can get like an Alex Jags kind of video done later of my reactions to the best moments of the season, and I think that will definitely be one of the best moments of the season, as Jerome Hudson puts it on pole position for Red Bull on an absolutely amazing lap. And yeah, nothing to take away from him. He kept it on the track, and he found the time. As we are about to get underway, I believe we do have a formation lap enabled. I will go get myself a glass of water. Someone can I need more to drink. Right, I'm back with my water. Believe it or not, commentating alone, it does kind of strain your voice and your throat. But it's a thing I probably need to get used to, considering I have done this for 2 weeks in a row, and I will be also commentating the F124 race. So again, you can just get to hear my beautiful voice all the time. As we are prepared to get underway here in Abu Dhabi, and 15 drivers, all with a singular goal of getting onto the podium and getting a victory here. And it's going to be extremely interesting to see how people like Dablo, how people like Nick get along, as we now head on to the formation lap, and we are just going to be looking at everyone's tires. It's going to be mediums for the top two, but hards for P3 man Sami Jote. Then it's going to be mediums all the way down into P10 for Joaquin Lauda. S10 in 11 starts on softs. He's going to be looking to make up places all day in 12 on those mediums. Rabsog and Nick Furyman both on the soft compound tires, and Dablo heading back the grid will start on the mediums. Obviously, I have no one here, so I can't ask them what their predictions would be, but if you asked me my prediction right now, I would have no idea. Jerome putting in an incredible lap in qualifying, but we know qualifying pace doesn't always translate into race pace, and we also know that the two guys behind him, Mew and Sammy, absolutely rapid on a race day, and will be looking to do anything they can to dethrone that Red Bull from first place. Hopefully we don't see too many accidents today. We've already seen enough of them in real F1 just a few hours ago. But yeah, hopefully we are in for a great race here in Abu Dhabi, as you just getting a bit backed up by Jerome there, just not wanting to build a massive gap all to 6th to Rafasi, who is only just entering the 3rd sector now. So possible wave strategies powered by AWS. They think a soft to medium or a medium to hard. Obviously, if you start on the hards or the mediums, then you can have the choice of the softer compound tires towards the end of the race, which is going to help you overtake. Sammy is going back to the well. That worked for him last time out. Which is starting on the hards and then hoping for a later race safety car. As we see now, everyone's starting to line up on the grid. I wonder if Mew and Jerome are going to be pointed at each other here, because Mew definitely wants the lead early. He doesn't want to allow Sammy to use his hards later on in the stint to help him to get out. Jerome, everyone lines up well. No disqualifications so far, and I believe we're good to go. And Valkyrie does get disqualified, but we are good to go here under the lights in Abu Dhabi in Yas Marina, as we head to 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 lights, 5 lights, And it's lights out, and it's go, go, go. They were held for a little bit, but Jerome does get away well. Mew right alongside him into turn 1. Will they go side by side? Yes, they will. The Polish driver takes the lead, and now they're side by side through this sector. And there's been yellow flags behind. Someone's dropping down the places, but it's going to be Jerome Hudson who leads after sector 1. But Mew around the outside into the hairpin now. He wants the lead. Sammy there as well, looking to pick up some scraps. As there's a little bit of fighting going on behind. I think everyone's made it to quite nicely, except Get Valkyried. He's been spun around by someone, as Mew and Jerome still continue to go wheel to wheel into the chicane. Sammy's gonna make it 3 wide, is he? No, he backs out of it, but that's very close. And the Red Bull goes very, very deep. And oh, there's a bit of contact there, as Williams and the Red Bull just don't want to give this place up, and this is wonderful racing between the top 3. Sammy now under pressure from Cornish Mantis, but he's gonna give pressure to the Red Bull of Jerome down the inside of the long right-hander. That's never gonna work, and he noticed that, and now he's getting attacked himself by Cornish Mantis down the inside, maybe in sector 3 at some point, but no. That's not gonna happen, and Mew leads after the first lap. First lap skirmishers have been dealt with, and he's very, very closely followed by the Red Bull of Jerome, and those two now need to pull away from Sammy, who's on the hard compound tires. He has the tire disadvantage as it stands, but I don't think Jerome is going to be just sitting around and sitting behind Mew. The biggest winners failing Nick Froome and Dablo, all up 4 and 3 places respectively. The biggest loser is Get Valkyried, who did have a spin in the first sector and is now down a little bit on all day. But Jerome Hudson, will he be looking for the move? Now down into the hairpin, not quite yet, but he'll need a good exit out of this hairpin onto the long back straight, because this is where the moves get made. It's not DRS yet, it's not F124, but he's still closing in is the Red Bull. Going on board, now he's going to be forced around the outside by the Williams. And into the chicane they go, and it is going to be the Red Bull who's going to be ahead and leading the race once again here on lap 2. But this is allowing Sammy to get back close, and Mew's going back at it, and they're still side by side, and they're gonna be side by side into the left-hander. It's gonna be a long left-hander to be side by side on. Mew backs out of it, but Sammy very, very close indeed. He knows there's a move here if these two keep battling ahead. And now Jerome still leads this race after lap 2. He's managed to hold on the attack from Mew as it stands, but now Mew might be under a little bit of pressure from Sammy as he has a little bit of a snap. Oh, so just Jerome, he catches that well though. No DNFs so far in this race. And I believe that's Crane just joining me.
That is me. Hello, I'm finally here.
Yeah. As we head on to lap 3 now of this race. Do you want me to stream it on Discord, or do you want to join the session?
If you wouldn't mind an invite, please.
Yes, I shall.
Great.
There you go.
Perfect.
Right.
Great. Okay.
So we head back onto the back straight. I'll need to turn you down a little bit. Audio is amazing. Da, 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 da. Right. Mew's going for the move. I'm so sorry I'm missing this, but Mew's going for the lead of the race.
Sub it in a second.
Alright, we are back underway. As Jerome now looking for the move back on the Williams, through around the outside goes the Red Bull, and he does make the move back up into P1, and this battling does not show an end in sight so far. It's still everyone in the top 6 has DRS, and everyone in the top 6 still has a chance of winning this race. But Sammy Jote on those medium compound tires, he'll be loving life. He'll be absolutely loving his position at the moment.
Absolutely. Like this DRS train, see, going all the way back down to 6. They're all so super close to each other. And no DRS on this pit straight, actually, one of the few tracks in the entire calendar that doesn't. But going into turn 1 now, Sammy staying really close onto the back of Mew. He's going to probably try and get something done coming into the hairpin at the very end of this long start, sector 1 here. But he's just barely dropping back behind. So they're all seeming to be really close in pace. Mantis dropping back maybe a small bit there. Could the top 3 be breaking away here, but Mew's going to have a look on Jerome. He's going to try and get that done under duress. He's going to hold the position.
Sammy's going to go for it as well
inside,
now.
And there goes Sammy as well.
Oh,
Sammy
this is
also going on
very,
the
very
inside.
close.
Jerome passing back on the outside. Oh, very, very close contact. Jerome pushing Sammy barely off the track there. And Jerome almost going all the way down to 3rd, but managing to fend off Sammy. Mew now up into 1st place, and now a 6/10 gap to 2nd already.
Yeah, well, that happened because Sammy and Jerome were going side by side there, and now Mew needs to push like crazy to get these guys out of the DRS, but I don't think Jerome is going to allow it, as also Cornish Mantis in this fight, keeping up with P3 very, very nicely indeed, and 5th and 6th now starting to drop back a little bit as the top 4 are starting to pull away.
It does seem to be quite a battle there for 5th, as Failing is right on the back of Axel Ross, and they're having their own little DRS train there. Really, really, really close there in the back going into turn 1. And they seem this is probably going to be another DRS overtake, unless Failing can get something done into the hairpin. He's gonna have a look briefly, but he's gonna fall back in line, as who is on the Alpha Tauri, Rafasi, is gonna have a look now as well.
Yep.
They're all 3 of them really close onto the DRS straight, and Failing, he's gonna have a look. He's gonna try and get him on the inside line, and Jerome's gonna who is this gonna have a look too?
And
Jerome
Jerome has
turn 1.
Jerome has taken the lead now, and Sammy and Mew very, very close behind as well, maybe having a little bit of a love adapt here. But I don't think there's going to be any more moves made for the lead. But Rafa is going around the outside of Failing, as Mew does take the lead back. I have missed that as well, but there's so much action going on, yes.
There's so much happening. Mew getting that DRS back on the 2nd straight, and getting Jerome back under DRS. This is... Wow, I've only been here for 2 laps and there's so much going on already.
Yeah, absolutely. As we head now into the final sector of lap 5, and Mew leads this race now from Jerome, from Sammy from Cornish, and then a little bit back is the battle for 5th for Rafa, Failing, Axel Ross, Simi, and Wacky Dablo in that train as well. Nick dropping a little bit back, not maybe having the pace of the top 10, but Mew now but definitely not going to be comfortable in the lead, but maybe... Oh, that's a spin!
That?
That's Axel Ross, I think.
That's Axel
And
Ross.
that's a virtual safety car!
Oh, that's
not going to be a long safety car.
Major spanner in the works here.
Yep.
We're going to probably see maybe a couple people pitting here. I don't think anyone... Yeah, I don't know how close Rabzog is to the pit lane. No, I think...
I don't believe the virtual safety car is going to last for long enough. I think it's going to be... Well, starting right now, actually, we're going back to green as Cornish nearly rear ends the back of Sammy's Joe. We thought we were going green, but apparently we're not. Okay. We are still on the yellow flags here.
Weird. I did see that for a second. It did look like it was going green very quickly, but now it's just... No, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah. We hope for no drive-thrus under this VSC, obviously. As last week out, Sammy lost the win due to a drive-thru under a safety car. And hopefully that won't happen this time around. But everyone's still within that 1 second of each other. And interestingly enough, P5 Rafa has actually closed up to the top 4 here under this VSC. So maybe just managing his delta a little bit better.
I saw Failing go down 1 or 2 positions there. I'm not sure what's happened there.
No one's going into the pits, even though the VSC is still out. But now we're back to green. No one has gone a drive-through penalty. And Mew has gotten away well. But as I said, Rafa now 1.3 seconds off the top 5. He'll be pushing to get that back. As Axel Ross does go into the pit lane, he must have got some damage from his spin there. And Mew already 8 tenths up the road.
Already pulling that gap out, and he's past the 2nd. But Jerome, was he at DRS? Yes, he was. He did get that DRS, so he's going to be under attack from Sammy while also trying to push Mew. Let's see here now. Is Sammy going to have any looks going into the hairpin? He does have a little sniff, but he doesn't quite have the distance to actually make a move. So they're going to move on now to the 2nd DRS straight. See if anyone can make a move here.
He has to attack because Sami's also coming at him. As around the outside goes the Red Bull on the Williams, and that's gonna be a hard move to pull off. They are gonna be side by side into Sector 3, and this is a little bit risky, but Mew does eventually back out of it. Jerome Hudson takes back the lead of the race, and Sami still in P3. He's not made any progress on those hard tires that you would think at this point in the race are the better race tire.
Yeah, there's another caution in Sector 3 there. I don't know what that's about.
That is Holiday, I believe, in the Williams.
Okay. But yeah, those medium or those hard tires should really be playing to Sami. It's kind of impressive, honestly, that Sami is able to have the pace he does on these tires, especially when the rest of the pack, by the looks of it. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, everyone around him is on mediums, and he's sticking quite close to them all. There's a bit of contact there, and it's Mew's around.
Not quite around, but he has been touched, and that is Jerome now out of DRS. But this now becomes a very interesting DRS straight between the three: Cornish Mantis, Sami Jote, and Mew. As Sami Jote now defending from Cornish, can't quite do anything about it as they're going side by side in the chicane. Sami does keep the position, but Cornish looking for the old switcheroo here, down into the next straight, and Sami no DRS, so this is a perfect move for the McLaren to make. Round the outside into the left-hander, we have beautiful camera angle as he does make the move up into P2, but now Jerome has been allowed to get away as Sami's round.
Whoa, Sami's round again. Although that was me the first time, it was Sami this time.
Simi is also round, and Simi has damage. This Simi and Dablo has come together, I think.
That has certainly turned into...
And there is a lot of debris on that track, and
that has suddenly turned into quite a sizable collision behind. Yep. I think Sami's car mightn't have gone ghost, and I think a lot of people ended up having to maybe take some action or spin there. Yep. But Mantis seriously improving his positions off that. He saw the opportunity, he took it, and pushed full speed into second place.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, it's allowed Jerome now to get away. It's an unforced error from Sami Jote. Very rare that we see those from the French driver, but now down in P6, needs to make up a lot of ground as Mew going for P2 against Mantis now. Down the straight should be an easy pass with DRS, and it is just that as they head into the chicane now, but Cornish will have DRS down this next straight, which is maybe going to be Mew's undoing, but Cornish not looking close enough to make that move back, but he'll be happy he's up on the podium now.
Yeah, that was quite textbook by Mew there. Just a very simple overtake and some nice defending into that little complex there just before the second DRS straight. But Mantis is definitely going to be fighting hard to get that place back. Don't think he went through all of that for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I think only the bottom three have pitted so far, so no pitters as of yet. As I thought I saw someone go into pit lane, I did. Rafa is going to be the first stopper out of the top 5 on lap 10. Is he gonna put on softs? Do you think softs are gonna make 10 laps?
Softs 10 laps? I'm not sure. I mean, if he's pitting now with 9-lap-old mediums, we're just gonna... Yeah, he is putting on softs. That is soft tires.
Yeah, that's
going on Rafa's car.
Very brave from the AlphaTauri to go for this big of an undercut, as Simi and S10 also into the pit lane. Simi will have a front wing change from that collision with the Dablo. Obviously unfortunate, but sometimes it is just racing. And Mew now almost broken away from the DRS of Cornish Mantis.
Speaking of Dablo, actually, I find it quite interesting. He, sorry, I'm trying to get up the thing there. He's made up 8 places in this race.
He had a crash in qualifying and started from the back of the grid. That would be why.
But that is an incredible, charge off the grid, from back of the grid all the way up to 7th so far. And currently, I've actually changed the gap. But yes, then I'm only 4 seconds away from Val carried and trailing behind with a penalty. So he should be pretty happy with himself at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, Mew not closing up the gap to Jerome as much as maybe I would have expected, as Wacky Lauda now into the pit lane, the other Red Bull from P4. That would be, I imagine, on the soft tires. It is. And he's looking for the undercut for the people ahead of him, which is the top 3.
I think we are going to see a fair mix of medium and soft tires. Looking at the tire detail, I'm seeing quite a couple of hard tires. It looks like, oh yeah, well that was Axelrod. He pitted earlier for damage, so he put on some hard tires, so he's looking to make them last to the end. Everyone so far from the top who's pitted have put on soft tires, except for Nick Furyman, who put on hards. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not.
I believe he left the session a little bit, so I think that's his AI car driving maybe having something else to do. I genuinely don't know.
Well, his AI has made some very interesting decisions.
It's the AI in the game. But we have gone for everyone in a DRS train to no one in a DRS train in the span of a few laps, but Cornish still managing to hold on to that one DRS from Mew, and just as I say that, he has a massive snap and now drops under that 1 second. But now, are the top 3 going to come into the pits? Jerome Hudson into the pit lane now, and this is crucial for the race leader.
Mew following him in. This is going to be crucial. Whoever can get the better pit here. Mantis is going to extend his stint a little more, so his tire is going to be a little bit fresher coming close to the end of the session, which could mean quite a lot of difference. Jerome with quite a good stop. Mew, we're going to see here now. Also a good stop, and Mantis and Jerome, gets out in front.
Gap has
they're going to be
closed a lot.
quite close. They are going to be quite close.
Rafa might lead this race. Actually, he's coming out of the pit lane now. And Rafa right there, right next to him. Oh, Rafa will come out in provisional second place.
Close.
On warm tires as well. So maybe looking for the move on Jerome in this next few sectors. But now it's going to be Cornishman who leads. Then it's going to be Sammy Jotes second on those hard tires still. Going on, hoping for a safety car maybe now or later in the race. And Jerome still the provisional leader. But now there's a car in between him and Mew on the same strategy.
It seemed that Mew, I was watching him as he was going through the tunnel in the pit lane. He seemed to have had a moment. He might have hit the wall in the pit lane. There's the small tunnel underneath the track. He may have hit that. I don't know if he has damaged or not.
There's no visible damage.
I did see him go ghost.
But we are hoping there's obviously no damage for the championship leader at the moment, as I'm just following this Jerome Rafa fight through the final sector because I've got a really nice camera angle for it. Cornish Mantis into the pit lane, and Sammy Jolt will lead this Grand Prix now, having that spin from 3rd down into 6th, but now leads again on those hard tires as S10 gets a 3-second time penalty, and those also might be incredibly crucial when it comes to deciding the winner of this race.
Rafa now almost a second behind Jerome. Jerome having a flyer of a final sector there. Seems to be a bit of a strength for Jerome on this this track, that final sector.
Yep.
And that's where like most of the drop-offs have been. As I think Rafa barely got the RS there.
He's still losing
as well
time
as Mew.
down the straight.
Still somehow losing time.
He is under 10% ERS. You can see that by the rear light of his Alpha Tower flashing, as is Mew. Interestingly enough, Mew is under 10% ERS, which is incredibly interesting. I think Jerome is not under 10%. I think Jerome's fine on ERS.
Jerome is low on ERS. He's at around 20. While Rafa and Mew are at about 10, yeah. So Jerome is a bit low on DRS, but still a bit more than the people chasing.
Oh, Rabzog is out. That would be in the pit lane.
Okay. I don't know what that could be, but sure. It's at least the car is not on track.
Yeah. Mew is now looking, and Sammy's got a 3-second penalty as he heads into the pit lane. That might be huge later on in the race, but Mew looking for the move on Rafa, whose soft tires, as we said, he went very, very early with the pit stop, and now he might be struggling because of that early pit stop, and Mew right behind Rafa, who's dropping heaps of time to Jerome.
Mew keeping right on the back of Rafa, and he's going to have a peek now, maybe going around the outside into the hairpin. He's certainly going to be there under braking, possibly try and switch back as we come out onto the DRS straight, and they're side by side using a bit of overtake. DRS open, and this is going to be very textbook for Mew. It's going to have that extra bit of speed, but Rafa is slipstreaming off of him. He had a little look down the inside there, but nothing, and didn't quite have the pace to make a move. He is going to have DRS though coming onto this second straight, but again, I think the gap to Mew is just that little bit too big. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to make a move, and it doesn't look like it. That's Mew up into second and about almost 2 seconds away from Jerome.
Cornish also up to fourth, past Waki Lauda. Crucially, he might play a factor in this race as well, because you can clearly see Rafa is starting to struggle on those soft tires. They're not a luxury that lasts you a long time here around Abu Dhabi, and they will drop off quite heavily even. And we are seeing that in action right now. But now it's all up to Mew to chase after Jerome for this race victory. And Jerome, not been in this position before in FQ. Oh, Mew's off the track in turn 1. That was quite a hefty off track actually.
It's a little bit wide. I'd say that might just be a warning. But I think he'd want to try and keep those to a minimum, especially if he's trying to keep a gap to Rafa.
Yeah, and especially if he's trying to get up to Jerome, and track limits penalty definitely won't help him in that regard.
Exactly.
But we might be in for a great finish to this race yet, as yeah, Sami Jolt in P7, he's gonna have the newest tires of absolutely everyone, but I don't think he'll have enough laps to challenge for this podium fight as of right now. Mew is closing in that gap.
A penalty.
Yes. Mew is closing in that gap, 1.3 seconds the gap now between the top two, and both are flashing, both are very low on ERS, so now it's all about your pure pace and how much can you afford to push without getting off track. And won their first race last time out in Canada, and Jerome now looking to win his first race around Abu Dhabi as Double leaves the session. That disconnect, maybe, possibly.
Quite
his Xbox just turned off via Double.
Mew now 1.2 seconds, had quite a fast lap there, that last lap.
Yep.
Gaining almost 6 tenths to Mew, as Sammy now also had a very, very, very good lap, only about 6 tenths away from Valkyrie.
Yeah, gap 1.1 now at the top, and this is going to be an interesting battle, because I'm sure neither of them want to make any risky moves. We don't want to see a repeat of today's Austria race, where the top two take each other out. That's that would be less than ideal, and I think both of them, Mew and Jerome, have both seen that race and will be thinking in their heads they do not want to do that. But Mew definitely will want this win, because then he'll be 2 wins out of 2 and cementing his championship lead even further.
Indeed. You're now almost in DRS. Only a couple of thousands to a 10th left to push. He's gonna want to. He's barely dipping in and out of it.
And I think
he's gonna want to keep that gap low.
Oof, this is going to be a great race finish. But Mew is burning a lot of battery to get into this DRS. But we know how powerful DRS is around here. We've seen it countless times today, where the overtake is just very, very easy when you have DRS and the car in front of you doesn't. So Mew looking like he'll have DRS for these last 4 laps of this race. Who will come out on top? Will it be Jerome's first victory, or will it be Mew going 2 out of 2 as they now head on to the first of the 2 DRS straights? And I need to invite Dablo, and I swear to God, if there's a move before I get to invite Dablo.
I'll comment for you, Muse. About 7 tenths, he's slowly gaining, but I don't think he's got quite the speed to make any moves in. Yeah, he's just going to stick behind Jerome going into those the chicane. And Mew only 4 tenths now. He's chasing on Jerome, gaining very slowly. Neither of them have any ERS to fight with. and Jerome's just gonna stick. Mew's gonna stick to the back of Jerome, 3 to 4 tenths away. They're just gonna want to stick really close by, maybe try and gain a little bit of time, but they certainly would not want to crash.
No, definitely not. And warnings and penalties will also be quite crucial, I think, during this last few laps of the race. I don't know. Can you actually check how many warnings they are on, respectively?
Think so?
You can from race director.
No.
Race director.
Oh,
And,
from race
just-
director you
yeah.
can, yeah, but during the race I don't think you can. No. Oh wait, can you? Oh wait,
Yes,
no, you
you
can.
can.
Okay, I can check for you. Oh yeah. Sorry. Let me
As we
let me
head
see here
down
now.
into the hairpin for another time, 3 more times, we will go through this hairpin as Mew now has DRS on the Red Bull. The Williams looking to take another victory. 2 out of 2.
Mew has 2 warnings.
Yes.
He's gonna want to keep that
And,
very clean.
He needs to keep it very tight and very clean indeed, as Jerome does manage to stay in front 4 now, and gap now 7 tenths of a second going on the second DRS straight. I think Mew is just about too far away to make any sort of move heading into the final sector, as he does not. And 2 laps to go now. Jerome is staying ahead, but Mew probably just chilling, charging ERS, and saving it all for the final lap of the race.
So quite interesting actually. Both Jerome and Mew have 2 warnings for track limits, so they're gonna want to keep it very ultra clean in these last 2 laps. Otherwise, they have just given it all away. Mew, he could probably get away with it, but he'd be stuck with second. But Jerome certainly wants to keep his nose very, very clean coming into this second to last lap.
Yeah, also a battle we might want to be looking at is the battle for third right now. There's Rafa and Sammy both within, or Cornish and Sammy both within Rafa's DRS, sorry. And that might get spicy as we get on the final few laps, as now we're going to be looking at Mew. I don't think wants to make the move on the second to last lap, because then you'll be vulnerable on the last lap to the DRS, so...
Yeah, I think it might be in Mew's best interest to stick behind here, which he does. But as for the cars behind, Mantis closing that gap very quickly, he's also going to stick behind.
Yep.
But now those cars are very close together here now in that
Yeah,
chicane.
Mew going for the move, maybe? He's very, very close. No, he sticks behind. He does lift off. And in the battle for P3, it's going to be Cornish Mantis against Rafa. Against Sammy, who does have a penalty, but also has the newest tires of anyone here. Rafa has the oldest tires of anyone in this fight. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how that tire difference plays out in this last lap. As they stay... Oh, they're pushing each other through that final sector. Rafa definitely struggling there for a bit of traction, a bit of grip. As... Cornish Mantis nearly in the wall there. But
they are bumper to bumper here.
absolutely, but
so close.
there's also the battle for the lead, but how are we supposed to look away from this? As that's Dablo, I think, in the final sector. Cornish has a time penalty now.
Mantis
That's
barely, I just barely saw that from overhead. He barely dipped his tires over that line.
but
And
now
Sammy is-
we're gonna
have a
be
look.
sorry to cut you off, but we are gonna be focusing on this fight for the lead as we see the people going side by side behind. But now Mew is closing in. Look at this. He's closing in so much, but he doesn't want to be ahead. Going into the second DRS zone, he knows he needs to stick behind for now. And I think Dablo's got a slightly better exit. Not Dablo. Jerome's got a slightly better exit here. Does the McLaren. But will the Williams have enough straight line speed, have enough ERS to go for this move, to go for this win around the outside? Into the long left-hander they go. And they're keeping it clean, keeping it nice. But I think Jerome Hudson might have just done it. Mew's still side by side. They're gonna go side by side in the final sector. No send from Mew. And I think Jerome Hudson in the Red Bull might have just done it. And I think it's gonna be good for him. It can only go one way after all, and it's going American here today. And it's gonna be Jerome Hudson who takes his maiden win in FQ and wins here in Abu Dhabi And then back into this P3 fight. Sammy Joe will finish P3 on track, but only P4 after Rafa claims an amazing podium. After a risky strategy, he's made it work.
Wow, that final battle between Jerome and Mew was simply incredible. Fair play to both of those drivers. And Rafa there, I think, actually kind of dropped back a little bit and just kind of let Sammy and Cornish fight. Because Rafa saw it, they both had penalties. He didn't have to fight them. He could just stick behind, keep his nose clean, and they would just get the penalties after. So he basically had secured third as soon as Mantis got that penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. That is Jerome Hudson winning his first FQ race, and 2 wins, 2 first-time winners, and Mew missing out by only a few tenths of a second this time around, but he will still be leading the championship after this race, and that is very, very nice indeed. As I'm just gonna try to get people. Who is your driver of the day? I should probably ask that.
Jesus, I probably would have to give it to Jerome. Jerome just had pace throughout that race, and that last lap defending was just incredible. Some of the moves that he was able to pull off there, even when him and Mew and Sammy were all fighting together, the 3 of them, he was just able to come back time and time again, and I think he just has to be commended for that. That was an incredible fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I will have to agree with you on that. Jerome Hudson winning the race and getting driver of the day for it as well.
Pole as well.
And pole position, yes, that is a
And
very
pole
nice
position.
weekend for Jerome Hudson. As, yeah, we will need to get everyone in for the interviews if people are gonna be there. Mew's already there, but we are going to. I forgot. I need to do this. We are going to play the American. The national anthem. Yeah, that's the one. Let me just get it up real quick. But for our winner, Jerome Hudson, the American national anthem. Right, there we are then, the American national anthem for the first time, I believe, in FQ history. And we are going to just move down to the podium interviews into drivers 2. I believe everyone's there.
Disconnected. User entered your channel. User entered your channel. User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, alright, I forgot that Crane. If I move him, he'll just die. Right. Crane's not here.
User entered your channel.
There is. All right.
Here I am.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot. When I move you, you just die. This is your own PlayStation. But yeah. Anyway, if you actually, I'm gonna start with P2 man or P3 man. Sorry. Rafa.
Hi everyone.
Hello. Congratulations on a podium here in Abu Dhabi, first of all.
No, thank you. It was a tough race today. We had the strategy worked out perfectly. So yeah, I'm pretty happy because this I shouldn't be here in the podium, but yeah, the undercut worked it out nicely. So I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, the strategy call was something that we were looking at very very keenly because we would not think that the softs would go for 11 laps, but you did manage to get them through. How were they feeling at the end of the race? We saw you struggling a little bit for traction there. Were they still all right, or were they dying?
Yeah, I don't think that they were dying, but grip was totally uh, I don't know the English word, but they were kind of not dying, but the grip was over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was trying to keep the car on track. I saw that in the last laps, Sammy approached me with his 3 seconds, and also Cornich also overtook me with 3 seconds. So in the last lap, I said, go, you two battle together because I'm gonna get the podium if I uh, think in a good way, be smart, and because with the 3 seconds I was in the podium. So yeah, it was like in the last 5 laps, I guess 4 laps, five laps. I had a moment in the near where Latifi crashed in 2021, and I knew that okay, I have to take this easy, otherwise I'm gonna be in the wall.
Yeah. Congratulations on the podium once again, and thank you for racing here with us
Not
this Sunday, and hope to see you here next week.
Thank you very much, mate. It was my birthday days ago, so this is like another gift. So I'm really happy to be here. Can I say can I salute someone?
Yes, of course.
I wanna salute my girlfriend who supports me in e-racing. So I love you very much, and also the community of CFI, Discord community of Latin America, Europe, and a lot of places, which I'm staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, a big shout out to them.
Yeah. Thank you very much, May and Crane. If you want to take P2 man and still championship leader, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Well, happy birthday, Rafa. Mew, what a
Microphone muted.
very, very good fight you had there for the end with Jerome. Do you think you could have won if you'd maybe had something gone a little differently? Do you think that
Yes.
something you could have won?
I literally fucked up on the chicane. Instead of exiting in third, I exited in fourth. And
Oh.
that basically ruined my whole momentum. Otherwise, I would have been fully ahead into the last corner. And I'm so upset because of it.
Well, still second and still leading the championship, so still nothing to scoff at all. But what are your thoughts about your performance today? How do you think the tire strategy went? How do you think everything went there?
Well, it was a very standard race. I'm not sure if I can say anything about it. Only real issue I had with it was that my whole plan went out of the window when a little thing called being tapped from the back happened, and suddenly I was 3 seconds behind the lead, and then I had to push I had to push as much as I could to catch up, and then I was just saving my battery for the last final straight, but I completely bottled it. So
And how are you feeling about maybe next weekend? I think you might be able to take the battle and take another win.
What track is it again?
What track is it? Let me check quickly.
Oh, China. Well, I'm gonna first have to learn the track.
Yeah, but after you learn the track, do you think you might have a chance?
Well, I'll do my best, but maybe not. We'll see.
Sure. We just have to try our hardest.
Yeah.
But congratulations on second. Definitely a fantastic position. Very, very good result. And still first in the championship. So hopefully you'll be able to keep up the streak.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. So I'll pass back over to Finexi for our main man, our winner.
All right. Man of the hour, pole sitter, and first time race winner here in FQ, Jerome Hudson. Just tell me how you feel, man. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was an amazing race. Starting on pole, it just all went to plan. Normal mediums to soft strategy ended up working out. And with Mew having contact and battling with Sammy and Cornish in the back, it allowed me to pull away about 3 seconds, and that just gave me free air and let me calm my nerves. I did deploy absolutely everything I had right after I got on those softs, and I did not realize how little I had left, and I could not charge it in time. And I knew Mew would be right on me at the end, and I did try to slow down just a little bit on the straight so he'd overtake me into the chicane, so I could get the DRS, but he had a plan, and I had to deploy the rest of my 15% of my battery to stay ahead, and we were side by side into the long left-hander, and I was on the inside, which gave me a pretty good line outside of it, and we did come close outside of it, and I was ahead going into the last part of the lap, and I knew I had won that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything from your lapping qualifying and your race pace, everything surprised me in a good way today. And you are definitely now in the hunt. Do you think about hunting for the championship now, or?
I think, just as long as Joe stays out of these races, I'll have a fight. But yeah, China next. I think I should be good there. I wasn't so sure about Abu Dhabi, and I think I'm more sure about being fast in China than I am Abu Dhabi, and so I think I can challenge for a podium, maybe even a win there.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You also have got driver of the day via unanimous vote from myself and Crane.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, and hope to see you up here again next week. And yeah, that is it from me. Let me just move us up to, hold on. Oh no, Crane's gonna die if I move him. Hold on. Oh no. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys so much for watching. And there is. He's deafened. He's joined the Discord. Oh, there is. Alright. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Crane, for being a co-commentator. It was getting boring being up here all by myself.
No problem. Sorry for my late arrival, but
yeah, that is completely fine. Yeah, that's all from us. Catch me and Simi again in 45 minutes. Yes, 45 minutes for the F124 race. Until then, that's all from us at FQ. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Right, stream's over.